I first saw Eddie Marlin on Channel 13 Wrestling way back when I was 10 years old. Eddie Marlin, what can I say? Eddie Marlin, born in 1930. The sole reason that I was able to live my dream and be involved in the wacky world of professional wrestling, Eddie Marlin. There's no doubt about it. The reason Eddie Marlin took a chance on a young, skinny, awkward-looking, shy, bashful kid from Jonesboro, Arkansas, who turned out to be the owner, the founder, the president of Power Pro Wrestling, the creator of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Anything I ever did and have ever done in my life was because of Eddie Marlin, who is not only my friend, as I said, a father figure, he was my mentor in the wrestling business. Eddie Marlin was born on August the 13th, 1930. So this is Eddie's heavenly birthday. Happy birthday to a man that means so much to me, the great, steady Eddie, a hell of a man, Eddie Marlin. We also want to shout out happy birthday to somebody born on Eddie Marlin's birthday. He's still kicking and he'll be in Jackson on September the 21st. He is Tony Falk, a 2021 member of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Happy birthday to the legendary Tony Falk. And now we get ready for a very special edition of Talking Memphis Wrestling.
Talking Memphis Wrestling with Randy Hill and special guests.
I was naturally somber to start out this show, but it's bell time now, and so yellow again, everybody. Randy Hill's ready to rock and roll, and boy, wake up. Come on in, stay a while because we gonna do it to it like Sonny Pruitt. We gonna rock and roll all night long. We have a great show. Not only will we talk about the Hall of Fame ceremony coming up in Night to Remember in Jackson, Tennessee, we have a loaded show. Now we've had issues, but how many issues? My guest in a few minutes will tell you. He's seen me pull my hair out a million times from people laid when people no show. He's seen me change up formats and wrestling sheets and cards and lineups. He's seen this a million times. That's what we're doing today. Michael St. John had an emergency at the radio station in Tennessee, so he's rushing back to Arab, Alabama. Pat Trammell had some come up. Chris Ellis had some come up. But they are not here, and I don't know if they're going to be here. But the star of the show is here, and let me tell you, I talked about old friends, and Tony Falk is a old friend. And I talked about Eddie Marlin, and he is a old friend as well. I don't want to say hello to everybody yelling at me. I'm fired up. Don't think I'm ignoring the people in the comments. We'll get to you later on, but I am talking about friends, and you guys are my friends too. Old friends like Tony Falk, and even older friends like Eddie Marlin, a guy that's not old at all, but somebody that I've known since he debuted in Memphis Wrestling in 1993. He's the second time guest on Talking Memphis Wrestling. Oakdale, Tennessee, by the way of New York City, the Big Apple. It is my pleasure to welcome and bring in my close friend and a member of the 2024 class of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. We announced it that it was coming a year ago. We got the date down. But my good friend Spellbinder in the house as we bring him on to the set. We're talking Memphis Wrestling. Hey, Spell, what's
Hey,
up?
Randy. Thank you, man. Thank you for that introduction.
All right. What's up with you, man?
Nothing much, man. Just really excited about September 21st, man. I remember you telling me about it a year ago, and man, time flies. Here we are.
Well,
You
let's
announced it, you called me.
Obviously you're very well deserved, folks. A lot of people's excited Spellbinder being here. We'll take a look at video and that sort of thing. We usually start in chronological order, but we won't do that today. We won't work ourselves up to the end. We'll start it at right now in the present time. Tell everybody, Spellbinder, as Thomas Lemon is saying hello to you and a lot of folks yelling at
What's
you.
up, guys?
Yeah,
Everybody.
all right. Tell everybody how you doing, what's going on in your life, because you look like a freaking $1 million.
I appreciate that. Well, Randy, the gym was my second home, and it's still my second home. I love doing that. I wake up every morning, have my first meal, and I'm in the gym, and that sets the tone for the day. It's any type of stress situation that I have or anything that that I feel I need to sweat out, I take care of it in the gym. So I'm healthy, thank God, and I'm just taking it day by day. I'm running my brother-in-law's car dealership with my wife, and I still keep in touch with the guys, and I still love the business. I love talking to you, and this thing coming up in September is really something that I'm looking forward to.
There is your graphic of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame that will be turned into a plaque.
That looks
We both love the wrestling business, obviously other sports, and we've seen the Hall of Fame in all sports, basketball, football, baseball, all the thing. The one that's the big deal to me is the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. What does it mean to you? And that's a beautiful picture and a beautiful plaque that Kevin Lawler put the artwork together. So what does seeing that plaque, your name under the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame, it says September 2024. Spellbinder, what does that mean to you?
Randy, looking at that picture reminds me of when it all started. I was a bodybuilder at first, and my younger brother, rest in peace, he would always coach me and tell me that he wanted me to be a wrestler. He says, "You're just as big as those guys. You look like this. You look like that. You look like a superhero." And I just chuckle it off. You know what I mean? And one day, just first and foremost, the Spellbinder character, was a revised edition of a magician in New York that I was a very good friend of mine, Jeff McBride. He did a pantomime act, and I saw what was happening back then when you had, the Powers of Pain, the Ultimate Warrior, you had the Legion of Doom, and them guys. And I just said, wow, Jeff McBride's character would look great on a muscular person that would wrestle. And I thought, I love magic, and I want to wrestle. I put the two together. So I remember Jeff McBride's brother Clay was a photographer, and I called him up and I said, hey, I want to take some shots. And he said, sure. So we met at a studio in New York, and I painted my face, and I put these tights on that I had made, and he made me about 4 or 5 different poses, 8x10s, black and whites, and I sent them to Titan Sports in Connecticut, and I sent them on a Tuesday, I remember, and Friday I got home, and I had a message from Linda McMahon, and they wanted to talk to me. Randy, the only thing was, I forgot one thing: to learn to wrestle. So I had the body, and I had the look, and I had the character, and I was a magician, so I could do magic, but I couldn't wrestle. So lo and behold, I went to Johnny Rod's School of Wrestling before I did anything, and I met Vito Lagrazzo,
Skull Von Crush.
Skull Von Crush, and he was nothing but a good brother. He's got a heart of gold, and Randy, thinking about this now, I don't think if it was for Vito being such a good guy, I don't think I would have got the tape to send to J.J. Dillon at the time. Vito helped me put it together. He put a mask on and he did all his moves, and he said, don't do that. It won't look good. Do this. That's going to look fantastic. Vito was great. But just looking at that plaque reminded me of the beginning, reminded me of when my first match. Randy, my first match was a tryout on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, my goodness.
Exactly. And I remember Vince coming to me and saying, hey, you look unbelievable. The whole character and everything. We need to send you to Memphis, Tennessee to work for a while. Would you do that? And I just, nope. Not even a thought. I said, sure. I said, I'll do whatever you need me to do. So they put me on the contract. I was the very first developmental.
Right.
And they sent me to Memphis, Tennessee. And I remember flew in on a Friday, stayed at the that Hilton, which is right up the block from TV5. I don't know if it's still there anymore. But I remember walking in, and I sat there. There I saw Jeff Jarrett. I saw Jeff Gaylord, rest in peace. PG-13, Brian Christopher, and all the guys, all the top USWA. That was, the hot market at the time.
And this was in 1993.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the match USWA, that match that I walked out for the first time, that was my second match ever in life.
That is absolutely unbelievable. It really is. And your very first appearance in Memphis, I don't know if you remember this, it was September the 13th, 1993. Spellbinder defeated JC Ice, Jamie Dundee. Your first match, or then a little later, on September the 12th, you defeated Leon Downs.
Yeah.
On
On TV.
October the 18th, you went from Spellbinder to Del Rios, and
Yes.
you defeated on October the 18th Tony Falk.
Right.
Then you turned in the Spellbinder, and real quick, and there's so much to impact here, and people's making comments, and we want to get to these comments. You've been what besides Spellbinder? You've been Shock, you've been Spellbinder.
Yeah,
Help me.
I was okay. So real quick, I was doing the Spellbinder, and I did it in the Magic, and King Jerry Lawler loved it. But he called me to the side and said, "Listen, Dale, I'm going to take the character off you because technically you're not sound. In other words, I wasn't a good wrestler."
Right.
And he was just being honest with me, and he says, "I'm going to tell you why, because you're going to kill the character. If you don't wrestle well, it's not going to look good with the character." So he says, "I'm going to take it off you. You're going to wrestle as Del Rios for a while, and we'll work on it, and then so King booked me on every show he had. When he took the book, I went from like 2 days a week to wrestling 6 days a week. Every single,
And that's what it takes. That's what it takes, right?
Exactly, and that's what he told me. And rest in peace, Brian Christopher. Him and I had started training, and of course he put the good word in, to his dad and said, "Hey, you need to book Dell." King, like I said, I would get my booking sheet on Saturdays, and I'd either have 1 or 2 days. Understandably, it's just business. But when I got the booking sheet for the first time that Jerry took over the book, bang, 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 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I was booked. And I remember looking over at him, and he looked over at me and winked. And I just looked at him and nodded like, "Thank you." So, I've been pretty blessed, Randy. You know what I mean? Meeting Brian, meeting Jerry, and of course meeting you, we hit it off pretty well. And one of the things I respected about you is no matter how much you liked the person or how friendly we were or whatever, you kept it business. So I learned the business at the same time.
Certainly, I tried to. Let's do one quick with a short answer.
Okay.
One quick question. Todd Alexander asked, who was your toughest opponent?
Tough in terms of that's a really broad question. A bit like that's a tricky question because guys can be tough in all different ways. Some of them are a little bit too physical. Some of them don't want to do nothing. Some of them want to do whatever they want to do and not let you work with them in terms of what you want to do. That's weird. But if I can just tell you one thing, that Mark Henry wasn't. I come out with some type of something to remember that night. I remember having to work him. We did a WWE.
He was no joke.
Good Lord, no.
He didn't start out as a good wrestler that he ended up.
Yeah, and I got
Hall of Famer, but man,
right, and I was the lucky guy to have to wrestle him every night.
He was strong, world's strongest man, and that was a sheep, man. That was a sheep.
And to his credit, Mark, who was a great guy, he didn't know much, but he wanted to do everything. And I remember telling him, "Bro, I mean, we're fourth match. We can't do everything, And like I said, I mean, I knew I had been in the ring with him that night after the show. You know what I mean? The other one was Vampire Warrior. I think it was
David Heath.
David Heath. Holy Christ. He thought we were in there in a real fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, and I love him too. He's a great guy, super, super good people. Just, the adrenaline started pumping and, it took over them.
We're going to a video right now. This is the early part of the Spellbinder. When he started the Spellbinder, he told the story. Jerry Lawler said, we need you to wrestle under Del Rios, that sort of thing. We go to 1993 on TV5 Wrestling, and this video right now, Del Rios we'll see this thing turns into Spellbinder. That's the heading on this, and we're going to watch this video right now. Del Rios, the Spellbinder, Randy Hales, talking Memphis Wrestling. Back to 93 we go. Here we go.
Plus gets the hand raise. Here comes Bert Prentice and Del Rios. And I'm kind of looking forward to this. I was talking with Bert and Del Rios a little bit earlier, and a lot of fans may not know, probably don't know, that Del Rios is quite a magician. So I see you have a deck of cards with you. I'm hoping maybe for a demonstration there too, Bert.
You know, for 2 months I've been managing Del Rios, and since that time, he hasn't lost a match. The kid is incredible. Not only a phenomenal athlete, just a great human being. He loves the kids. He loves the old folks. He's a great person for the professional wrestling business.
You need more like that.
The only problem I got, he's still a little self-conscious of the scar. I have told the people, you know, the people love Del Rios. They believe in him. They don't care about the scar. But what I'm going to show you today, because I'm so excited about this, he is actually a world-class magician. And we had a little time, and you were so gracious enough. Yes, I want you to show him some of the...
Says he's not world class. He's
great. No, he's USWA world class. Now, come on. Now, I want you to show the people at home some of your tricks. Do it for me. Come on, you want to... Yeah.
I think we would like to see that, yeah.
Great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Watch this.
All right.
That's next.
How about that? How do you do that, Dale?
Very well. As you
I see that. Man, you're going to kayfabe. You're not going to tell the trick, are you?
No, as a matter of fact, I
Wait a
may
minute.
do something a
Skull
little
Bond
bit,
Look, come on.
a
You got
little bit of that on
demonstration going
September
here. You've had your
21st.
match.
All right. Hey, that's that veto you were talking about, Spell.
That was
Let's
him.
see what he's up to. Let's see what he's up to.
Stop believing in this stupid magic act. Big shot, Mr. Strongman. You want to prove you're a magician? You want to prove to America you're a magician? Then you do it with me, great German champion. Think you stop for wrestling? Stop crust, and for all you people. Come here, big man. Over here, step forward. Step forward, come on.
Now, come on. We just got a little demonstration here. And
Come here, big man. I want to show you something. You see what this is? This is German bag of tricks. Okay? Boy, it's a German bag of tricks. Inside the bag. Inside the bag.
All we want to do is come out and do an illusion or two. You don't need to be out here.
Look, I got surprise for you people here. I got surprise.
a surprise. So, a pair of handcuffs.
Now, I want to put on you.
You're talking about the handcuff escape? Is that what you're talking
Yes, great American trick. You cannot do
about?
it.
We can do that great American trick, but he has his own handcuffs we do that trick with. Don't
Come
worry
here,
about
big
it.
man.
No.
Step aside. Let him do it. Hey, come on.
Now watch it.
Come on. Come on. I showed you.
1993 USWA TV, Skull Von Crush. This is around February to March.
Okay,
This is probably maybe into 94.
Go ahead.
Yes,
Go ahead.
it's closer than, yes.
Wait. You are a magician, yes? You are a magician?
Yeah.
I have another surprise for you, my friend. I have another surprise
All right.
for you.
How many more surprises are you going to come up with here?
That's no problem.
Okay.
I have another surprise for you, my friend. I have blindfold.
Now, wait a minute.
And you know, Randy, Vito and I came up with that on our
To
own.
escape from handcuffs.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, sir.
That's good. So the hood comes over the face. We'll see how this plays out.
Crush with the first what, German Army handcuff.
Everything's good,
Hey,
my friend. Hey, come on. Huh? Everything's good, my friend. Handcuffs
See,
on
this
tight.
whole thing we had to
Let's go.
do
Let me see you break out of it now.
For Jerry Lawler, we had to do it at his house in the living room.
Yes, wait a minute. One more surprise.
oh, come on.
Every magician has magic wand. This is
Apologize for the quality of the video. This is an old video.
How would you do it?
Skipping
In
around.
German style.
Yeah.
Hey, come on.
Oh, what in the
Come
hell?
on, Bert.
Bert gets.
Now, magic wand. Skull barn crush first with the handcuffs, then the blindfold, and then the magic wand, a club, as he smacks Del Rios, and then Bert Prentice with it. Come on, Barn Crush. Out here with just a simple demonstration showing a couple of illusions, as Bert says. And you come up here with the... Oh. Wow. Oh, yeah. There goes Mr. Von Crush right there.
So, you ought to bring out your bag of tricks, you goofy German. What we're going to do this week in the arena is make a big bald-headed German disappear.
A word from Del Rios and Bert Prentice. We'll be back with more after this.
Man, does that relive unbelievable memories, Spellbinder?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I watched it back a few times, man, but I could appreciate Vito. Vito was a fantastic heel, man, especially in a situation like that, And like I said, he was very, very helpful in everything I did. Vito's a good guy, real good guy.
No doubt about it. He certainly is. One thing we're going to do now, and certainly we've gone 25 minutes, and I hadn't really sold anything yet. And I was wrestling promoter born, wrestling promoter bred. When Randy Hales croaks and dies, I'll be wrestling promoter dead. We're going to do some promoting right now, and we're going to get back to Spellbinder's career. But we're going to do some advertising. Adam, throughout the show, tickets to the Night to Remember, Saturday night, September the 21st, Jackson, Tennessee, at the Picture Perfect Event Center. Easy for me to say. A Night to Remember. Tickets going, Spellbinder, real quick. You can, especially want to get the VIP Platinum tickets, you can scan on your phone. This is a new way. Can you ever think that Lance Ross will say this? You can scan this QR code and get your pictures right now, right this second.
Wow.
Technology is unbelievable. You can do that right now. You can scan that. Now, during this next segment, we're going to go back old time to somebody that has been a manager of yours, somebody that has been an opponent of mine, somebody that from a business deal in Power Pro was my right-hand man. It's wrestling manager turned wrestling booker type of assistant booker type of deal turned radio station personality. Adam is going to back this up with graphics, and we will have some audio. Thomas Lemon got platinum tickets, and me and Spellbinder will give you a big hand.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that very much. So we'll talk more about the job, and you heard this clip because when I hired Brandon in '95, did you think all these years later you would be hearing such a professional piece of work from Brandon Baxter on the radio like what the people are going to hear, what me and you've already heard, right?
Unbelievable. We knew he was talented, but wow.
I have done something wrong here. I took you off the air. I don't think you actually went off the air. We're going to do this audio right now, and Adam's going to back it up, and here we go. And I did that wrong too. Folks, just give me a second as we're having technical problems. Live TV, Adam loves it. Here we go.
The legends of Memphis Wrestling return to Jackson. Saturday, September 21st at the Picture Perfect Event Center. It will be a night to remember, featuring the stars you watched every Saturday morning on TV. Be there for the Fan Fest meet and greet at 3:30 and the official Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame induction ceremony at 7 p.m. featuring Jerry the King Lawler, Superstar Bill Dundee, the Boogie Woogie Man, Handsome Jimmy Valiant, Dangerous Doug Gilbert, Wildfire Tommy Rich, the Rock and Roll Express, PG-13, Downtown Bruno, the Birdman Coco Beware, Dr. Tom Pritchard, the Dirty White Boy Tony Anthony, Nightmare Danny Davis, Terry Golden, Sir Mo, the Spellbinder, Tony Falk, Carl Fergie, Jerry Calhoun, Michael St. John, and more. Plus a special reunion of the stars from TV5 Power Pro Wrestling and KAW. The legends of Memphis Wrestling return to Jackson, Saturday, September 21st at the Picture Perfect Event Center. Sponsored by Budweiser, Pro Shingle, Thomas Media, Slide and Ride Rodeo, and WBBJ TV. Tickets are on sale now. Go to Eventbrite and search Official Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame.
I am so fired up. I'm
Yeah,
so
it's
excited.
awesome.
So
Awesome.
first of all, talk about the job Brandon did with that spot. And then
Insane.
talk about that great night. Not too far, within an hour from where you live, as a matter of fact, maybe an hour and a half. But talk about that spot and what that event will mean for Jackson, Tennessee, and the entire Mid-South area. We've got people coming from all over, including out of the country, Spell.
Yeah, how many times are you going to see those guys together in one night? It's impossible.
Right. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
you can't miss something like that. I'm looking forward to it because I haven't seen a lot of those guys in years.
No doubt about
I
it.
haven't seen Ricky. I haven't seen Wolfie. I haven't seen Jamie. As a matter of fact, I haven't seen Bill in a few years. You know what I mean? I had dinner with Jerry a couple of Mondays ago for Brian's anniversary, but it's always a pleasure to see King again all the time.
Let me do the hype. Let me do the hard sell. Let me do the Lance Russell and Dave Brown with that poster up there now. And you can absolutely see the QR code. And if you want to get your tickets, you can get them now. Also in the comments section on the socials, I have put in the comments section, you can click on that link on the screen. You can scan that QR code. I'm so excited. I'm coughing. I am ready to go. Advance tickets on sale now. This will take place on Saturday, September the 21st, 2024, the night to remember. Picture Perfect Event Center, 2310 North Highland Suite B in good old Jackson, Tennessee. Tickets are for the VIP Platinum, $75 tickets. Front row tickets. It includes everything. It includes the meet and greet at 3:30. It includes the Hall of Fame ceremony. It includes the tribute to Lawler and Dundee, the rivalry for the ages. Again, the meet and greet, the Q&A, all the deals. That VIP Platinum ticket is $75. Second row includes everything. That's $65. Also, general admission, first come, first serve, is $45. Single event for either the Hall of Fame only, $25. The meet and greet only is $25. Now, Adam is going to keep up with me, or I'm going to keep up with Adam. So, Adam, just go ahead and go through the entire graphics of the Hall of Famer, and we have one in the house right now. I'm going to say one, and when we go to the next one, Spell, me and you'll take turns, and I will start because I don't want you. I think you could probably talk for 4 hours on the person that's on the screen now. He's deservedly a member. And on September the 21st, he will become a member. Here is our guest. He's our guest on Talking Memphis Wrestling. Del Rio's turned into the Spellbinder. And on September the 21st, he is going to turn into the next member of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. We will go to the next graphic, and we'll go with my co-host today to explain this one is Del Rios.
Handsome Jimmy Valiant from New York City, the Boogie Woogie Man. Man, he was so much fun. He was such a good guy, good heart. I remember having just conversations with him about the business and the things that he has done. And man, by the time I got in the business, he had seen it and done it all. And Jimmy's a great guy, and I can't wait to see him. I haven't seen him. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen him in about 15 years.
Really?
15 years, Randy. I haven't seen that man. And
That is-
anytime he saw me, it didn't matter if we were in Memphis. It didn't matter what state we were in. He would just stop what he was doing and come and give me a hug. He was such a good guy, and he has
Did he
been
ever did he ever kiss you? That was
absolutely,
his gimmick. All right.
absolutely. That was his gimmick.
Yeah.
That was his gimmick. You know what I mean? And man, you couldn't get offended with him. You could tell when he grabbed you. You could tell he meant it from his heart. He was just a good guy. And I'm going to tell you something. That man has had more influence on this business and so many wrestlers from all over the country. You couldn't even begin to understand.
Absolutely. I'll have to do this. Sometimes I perform here on this show, not very well, but I do perform. I can't wait to hear the music, and it will say, came rolling in the Memphis, TWA, tell all the ladies, handsome Jimmy's on the way. I'm a rocker, I'm a roller, I'm a little funky too. I was raised by a gypsy, old Handsome Cool, also known as the Boogie Woogie Man. Next slide, please, and it's my turn to talk about a great tag team, a great babyface tag team, created in Memphis by Jerry Lawler in 1983. One of the great babyface tag team of all time, Rick Morton, Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express. And now here's the Spellbinder to talk about the next honorees in the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Oh, Danny Davis. Yeah, what a great guy. He was a teacher. That's what he was. I remember my first matches were with him. A lot of them were with him in Memphis and in Louisville, Kentucky. And he was just a pleasure to work with. He was a teacher. That's what he did. He taught, and I learned a lot from Danny Davis. A lot of my psychology, a lot of situations was due to the way Danny Davis would come to me after the match and saying, hey, this was good. Next time, don't do this. Next time, don't do that. And again, all praise to Danny Davis. Great guy, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Next slide. My turn. September the 21st, you guys have the opportunity, without a doubt in the world, to be a part of this as the Picture Perfect Event Center on Highland Drive in Jackson, Tennessee on the 21st. He was a member of the Men on a Mission with Mabel and Mo. This is Sir Mo. This is Bobby Horn. Can't wait to see Bobby. Can't wait to see Mo. It'll be fantastic. He will be in the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame in Jackson, Tennessee. The ceremony's on September the 21st. Next slide for the Spellbinder.
I never worked Dirty White Boy.
Really?
Never worked him. I was on, I was in the dressing room with him. I remember his favorite movie in the whole world was Tombstone.
Oh, I love that movie too, man.
Yeah. And my wife can tell you, I've watched it about 50 times easy. As a matter of fact, whenever that movie comes on, I'll turn the TV channel to it. And right before they say their lines, I say it for them.
Yeah,
that's how many times. And I remember Dirty White Boy. Every single night we went, whatever town we were at, him and I would talk about that movie for about an hour and a half. And he'd imitate Doc Holliday. He loved it. It was a funny thing, man. It's going to be fantastic to see him too. I haven't seen him in 16, 17 years.
That is tremendous, and that's the opportunity not only for the fans to see people you hadn't seen in years, us to see people we hadn't seen in years. The Dirty White Boy, Tony Anthony. Next slide. All in Jackson, Tennessee, and of course a normal co-host of this program is Michael St. John in the broadcast wing of the Memphis Hall of Fame. Folks, absolutely, I can tell you right now, Michael St. John, so many memories in Memphis wrestling. The first one that comes on mind, he did the audio for the debut video of, oh, I don't know if you know this, Bell. He did the audio of the debut video in Memphis in 1979 of Hulk Hogan. And then in 1982, he did the voice for the video of the Kamala introduction.
Wow.
Michael St. John will be inducted into the Hall of Fame on September the 24th. Tickets are on sale last night. Real quick words about Michael.
Super, super great guy. I remember him would always come to me on a TV, on the TV. He wanted to go over what we were going to say, what I was going to say, what I was going to do, what I was going to act. Super good guy, and total professional, and he sounded fantastic. I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to see him either. I haven't seen him since USWA, the last show of USWA.
Yeah, that's something we're going to come back at him on the screen, and we're going to maybe not put him on the spot, maybe put him on the spot. I want to put up Lamar. I don't know, Lamar watching on YouTube. I don't know if this is somebody you know or not. Lamar on YouTube says, Spellbinder was my dude. I wish it had worked out in New York or even Atlanta for this talented magician. So, do you know who that is?
I honestly don't know who that is at all. I mean, I don't. Well, Randy, you remember? Whether it was a magic trick in the middle of the match, or was it some type of magic on the way to the ring or something? I did something. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, I got a funny story for you. So, do you remember in Memphis years ago there was a magic shop on Winchester called Trick or Treat?
Yes.
Okay. So one day I went out there. I needed flash paper, and I called, and they had some. So I ran over there, and he said, and I remember I was a big guy or whatever. So I came in, and there was two guys there at the demo table, and he goes, "You must be that magician that people are calling about." And I said, "Well, yeah, I guess." He goes, "No, you're the wrestler magician." I said, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "We know what trick you did on Saturday morning TV, because every Monday the phones would be flooded to see if we were selling that trick."
Hey, Dale, do you remember, Adam just reminded me, when we did the Masquerade Ball for Halloween, a Saturday show that was for Power Pro Wrestling, and we did a special Halloween show? That was
Yes.
our sponsor. That business you're talking about was the sponsor, and that's where we got all the costumes from. So
I
it's a
remember
small
that.
world. Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
remember that. Yes.
My least favorite Power Pro show ever. We'll go. Last slide we had was Dirty White Boy. We'll kind of move this along.
Okay.
Get your tickets, folks. Get it now. Adam will keep that, and I will, in the comments section, I will put that up. And
Is it my turn, Randy, or yours?
it is my turn because you did the white boy, but because
Okay.
everybody, I'll say a word or two. I'm very proud of this one because when I took over, they were brought in by Jerry Jarrett. They were a smaller kind of goofy gimmick, like a rap gimmick, and they weren't pushed as a top tag team. When I took over in '94, they were elevated and they got over, and I'm thrilled to death that PG-13, and because I have skin in the game, certainly I have it with you too, but I'm talked to Wolfie for a long time today. He woke me up from a nap, the son of a gun. Anyway, you talk about this one real quick.
Man, what can I say about those two? My first couple of days in Memphis, I stayed at the hotel. Next thing I know, I met Mike Anthony, who was a super nice guy, and rest in peace to him too. And he said, "Well, look, I'm going out to Nashville because it's right in the middle of everything. Where we can go to Louisville from there, go back to Memphis." And I said, "Okay." Well, Mike Anthony had a 2086 Camaro a C28.
Okay.
And Wolfie and Jamie had talked him into riding them to Nashville. Okay, so I was the biggest guy. I didn't fit in the back, so I either was in the passenger seat or the driver. And I said, well, no, I'm going with you, so let me drive. So I drove. Mike Anthony was in the passenger seat. Wolfie was behind me, and Jamie was in the back seat. Well, lo and behold, we never got rid of Wolfie and Jamie, and then they started using the little midge. Remember?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name. What we called him. What you called him? It was
Midget D?
Midget D. So
Yeah.
now,
You can't say that now. In
no.
current time, it's not politically correct. It's
Oh,
little
yeah.
people. It's little
Right.
people.
Little,
But
yeah,
Midget
exactly.
D, we couldn't do that now, but go ahead with the
No,
story.
exactly. Well, so Randy, for the next year, a whole year, it was me, Mike Anthony, Jamie Dundee, Wolfie D, and the little people behind in the car, driving to every single town, every single hotel room. We were stuffed, and we would get out of it. We would come out of that Camaro, and it would be like the clowns coming out of the little Volkswagen. I mean, it was just like that. So quite honestly, Jamie Dundee and Wolfie are like more like family to me. Just from all that time, it was just a lot of driving, a lot of nights in a hotel, a lot of work, and for a while there, they had me working Jamie in singles, and he was just honestly a pleasure to work with. And of course, I worked Wolfie 100 times, and he was easiest thing as well. They were just fantastic workers.
We will, in the comments section, you can scan that link, and Adam will put up the poster right now and leave it up for about 20 seconds. So get your phones ready, and you can scan the QR code that will take you. It's a can't miss night on September 21st. It's in Jackson, Tennessee. 3:30 is when the meet and greet, and so many names. Everybody on that poster. Coco will be there. Bruno will be there. Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert, Carl Fergie, Jerry Calhoun. We'll go over the names in a little bit. The comment section, you can click on the link. You can take your phone and put it up, the camera up there, and it takes you right to the Eventbrite website, and you can go and get your tickets right now. Be sure you do that. And the last people we inducted, we made the thing. You can also go, and it will direct you to it. You can go to MemphisWrestlingHallOfFame.com, and the link is up there, and you can get your tickets there at Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. There are many ways to do it. There's no excuse. I will tell you, Dale, they'll go quick. So,
Oh, they're going to. Yes, remember last night the people were getting them already.
oh yeah, a lot of people. Dale watched the show last night and really enjoyed it. So we did.
Great show, and it was a hyped up show. I mean, people. I mean, you could tell I was excited watching it, listening to you, and looking at the posters being put up and all that. That commercial you just played was unbelievable.
We'll get more mileage out of that today. So the last one we had up there was PG-13,
Yeah.
and it was really my turn. I wanted to turn it over to you because you know how the boys are. Oh, those Granny's boys, that's BS I'm not going to put up with. And I wanted you to do it and say nice things, and you did. So the next slide that he puts up, it's still your turn.
Okay.
All right.
Dr. Tom Pritchard, another teacher, another easy, pleasurable guy to work with. Again, he took time and would come and talk to me about the psychology of wrestling and how we can do this and how we can do that. I remember, Randy, do you remember Achim Albrecht, the German bodybuilder that they tagged me up with?
Yes.
So he was a student of Tom because Tom was running the
Was it Brackus?
Yes, he was. Yeah, because when Brackus Achim he signed with WWE, they kept him in Connecticut for about 2-3 months, and Dr. Tom Pritchard was training him at the center over there for a while. then they finally said, okay, you need to go, to Memphis to work. And they came over here, and I remember Tom calling me to say, hey, Spell, I think they're going to tag him up with you, and maybe, you can lead them and stuff like that. So, Marcus and I did, you remember, we did a lot of tag teaming. He was a big bodybuilder, but Tom was the one who taught him everything he knew, and anything he did, he'd have to answer to Tom. Tom Pritchard, super guy, and I mean one of the superstars of the heavenly bodies.
Absolutely, great wrestler. There is no doubt at all. And Adam reminds us, Brawl for It All. Bacchus was in that as well. I'll do the next one. The next member of the Hall of Fame you can see in Jackson, Tennessee. We'll take a look at that right now. This is from KAW Wrestling, Kick-Ass Wrestling and Memphis Championship Wrestling, who had a idea, reached out to me for a KAW MCW Power Pro reunion. Listened to me. We developed a relationship because we were on different sides of the fence. We were opposition to each other, but we never had a cross word. We were just on the opposite side. When we got together and worked together in the developmental deal, he did his thing, I did mine. But when we started talking in April, Dale, I saw his passion to the wrestling business. And he hadn't done wrestling since I have. About 2001, he was done, and he's very successful businessman in Jackson, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
There with the KAW shirt, Terry Golden. And, I don't know if you were watching Talking Memphis Wrestling when I had him on as a guest when we announced this thing. He didn't know I was doing that. Absolutely did not know I was going that way. Because in the middle of the show, I'm thinking, and at that point, we didn't have graphics. We were just saying names. We didn't have anybody's graphic. We just had names again. And when I invited him into the Memphis Hall of Fame, he teared up, covered his face, covered his head, and it meant something to him.
Yes.
So anybody say, well, he wasn't main event of the Mid-South Coliseum, does not matter.
No,
and he, Dale, what he gave, even though it wasn't my cup of tea, what he gave in KW was alternative, like ECW was alternative.
That's exactly right. And
For the people like that sort of thing, they like that sort of thing.
And he wanted to do something different. Randy, I think I don't remember if you do or not. Terry and I were super tight back in the late 90s. We trained together at the gym.
Gym rats.
Yeah, we were both gym rats. And I love Terry to death. He was a good guy. Here's something he'll tell you. Him and I, every single day, Terry Golden and myself were at Ryan's Steakhouse every single day of the week, Monday through Sunday. If I was in town or I wasn't on the road, I'd call him up, and the first thing he'd say to me, he goes, "You ready to go eat?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, here I come." And Terry loved the business, and what he did with KAW was totally different. And then he did MCW, which is Memphis Championship Wrestling, and he did a great job there too. And he was doing the developmental with WWE at the time, and I worked with him a little bit there too. And then came back to Power Pro, of course. But Terry loved the business, and he did everything he could positively to push the business. So he's well deserved to be in the Hall of Fame as well.
Dale, this means a lot to me, and I understand wrestling fans. They say this person should be in, that person should be in, and
they don't know him. They don't know him, Randy. We know him.
And I'm talking about other people. They're asking different people, and it's not. One of them, somebody the other day asked for Steve Kernan. I called Steve Kernan, and he said, and I wanted him, and the money was going to be good, and all that. And I just asked him in a message, and he just replied back, "No, thank you. That's it. No, thank you." That's all he said. So what do you do? The fans don't understand that.
And there's a lot of other guys like that. Randy,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of other guys that unfortunately things didn't go the way they needed to go for them, and they got bitter. They got bitter, and they don't have a heart for the business or for anybody in it. You know what I mean? Steve Kern, you know, who I grew up watching as well.
The fabulous ones. Stan
Yes,
Lane, Steve
yeah,
Kerr.
Stan Lane, yes.
There's no doubt about it. Folks, stand by because we have some video and we got a heartfelt conversation coming up next. I want to instructions as Adam's producing this thing. If there's Hall of Fame graphics that we haven't shown yet, I want you to put that up there. Is if there's not graphics left, if we've covered all the Hall of Fame, put the show poster back up there with the QR code. Put that up there because I haven't talked about all the names. We've talked about the Hall of Fame names, but in the meet and greet, all the people, Spellbinder will be there. He said he may do some magic tricks and he'll be there with his merchandise. There'll be vendor tables for the wrestling. I bet you spend more because you're a big wrestling fan and you love the stuff. I bet you go broke. I bet you spend more money than you make, even though you're going to be taken care of. But still, it'll be fun for wrestling fans. Hall of Fame members will be there without a doubt. Also, a segment that I'm looking forward to is called The Rivalry for the Ages. The opening segment after the meet and greet that will start at 7 o'clock will be a tribute to the great Rivalry for the Ages. And there is that great artwork, Dale. If you can look at the screen right now.
Yeah, that looks fantastic. That looks great.
Throughout the
That
deal.
that right there is like a symbol of Memphis wrestling history right there.
No doubt about it, and certainly you will see that presentation. They'll both be in the meet and greet. You will also see these names. Former NWA World Champion Tommy Wildfire Rich, the youngest member of the dynasty of the Gilbert wrestling family, Dangerous Doug Gilbert. WWF Hall of Famer Coco Ware, probably one of your former managers, I would say. Downtown good-looking Bruno will be in the house. Also, cousin Carl Fergie, I almost said cousin Minnie Pearl. Cousin Carl Fergie will be in the house. Hall of Famer for Memphis Wrestling, Jerry Calhoun, great referee. Pat Rose, a former tag team partner of Tom Pritchard, will be there. His son, Camden Smith, a country music recording artist, will sing the national anthem again. Lawler and Dundee will be there. Kerry Morton, a great wrestler from the NWA. He will induct Rick Morton, Robert Gibson into the Hall of Fame. He will be in the meet and greet with the Rock and Roll Express. Tony Falk will be there with LT Falk. Reggie B. Fine, Brandon Baxter, Shane Russell. Shane Russell will be there with a vendor table. There'll be vendors galore. Mark James books, David Milliken belts, the Power Pro heavyweight title belt that you were holding on the watch along we did last night. It will be there. Did I say Reggie B. Fine? From Power Pro Wrestling, Derry King, Brandon Baxter, Randy Hale, Spellbinder, Lance Jade, Kid Wicked, Bo James. We also, if I didn't say Blade and Allen Steel, they will be there. The KAW crew will be there, and we have a poster on that. They will be there as well. Referees William Gibson, Bill Rush, Bulldog Reigns, hopefully he will be there. Referee Bill Rush, CB Wyatt, Easy Money, who claimed to be the father of a kid. She tried to trick me. She will be there. You can't miss this event at all. We'll go back to the main show event graphic right now, and you can see that QR code. And in the comments section, I have pasted the link. You can just click on it. Get your tickets now. Tickets, Dale, will go fast.
They're going. Absolutely.
The only advertising, there's been several people on this show today that's ordered people, a lot yesterday. The radio advertising, the Brandon spot that we showed is not on the air yet. Folks, if you want the best seats, the VIP Platinum seats, that's $75 plus taxes or fees, that sort of thing, probably gets up to about $78. That's the best tickets in the house. It's a can't miss event, September the 21st, and we will talk about that even further. Now, the next match we're going to show is a Brian Christopher Spellbinder match from the 90s, probably from the big 90s. And we, as I told you earlier, I got to get up about 3 or 3:15 in the morning. So you could talk for 3 months about this subject. Watch yourself a little bit here, because old RH will need some sleep sometime tonight. And we want to get into the match and get into the action right now. And we have 2 more videos that I don't think you think knows coming. And I didn't even look to see who won the match. I didn't care. I
No,
just
it didn't matter.
Brian Christopher Spellbinder match. But I want you to speak of that relationship. I'll give you, if we had a countdown, we'd put a clock on and I'll just count it up in your head. Dale, speak 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes on Brian Christopher, and then we'll
Well,
watch.
Randy, real
that
quick, when you talk about Brian Christopher and Del Rios, the Spellbinder, that I can sum it up with one thing. That was my brother all the way. Okay? I spent more time with him on the road, in the gym, in the restaurant than I spent with anybody in my family ever. I mean, this was hours of traveling, hours of eating, hours of training. I mean, just days on end, And you talk about you either do a 5-hour drive, or a 6-hour plane ride, and then we both jumped in the rental and we both stopped to get something to eat, or we both would check into the hotel. We both would go to the gym, and then we both would go to the arena, and then and there was some of those days that we wrestled each other, and we were like brothers. We would fight and argue like brothers, and it was just like a family. People wouldn't even get involved when him and I argued, or we didn't see eye to eye or something. They would just leave us alone. I'll never forget one day I was angry at Brian because he was late all the time, and I was driving with his dad, and I was driving, and King was in the passenger side, and I was yelling and cussing, and he just looked at me and he goes, "You're 2 peas in a pod. Cut it out." And I shut my mouth and never said nothing else about it. You know what I mean? So I miss him. I miss that man more than anything in the world. There's sometimes I'm driving down the road and I wish I could just take my phone out and call. And it wasn't even the business. Even after, I never officially retired. Neither did Brian, but we weren't as close because, of course, I was doing other things. I was competing as a bodybuilder. I was a well-accomplished bodybuilding coach, and I was doing that at the time. And I would take I'd do some shots here and there when I wanted to, and I would always stay in contact with him. You know what I mean? And that would stay like that until I said goodbye to him. And I just want to say this now. I'll say it live. Because I hear this all the time. Oh, Brian was my friend. Oh, him and I hung out and all that. I don't care who it is. If you didn't know Brian Christopher Lawler before he signed with WWF, WWE, then you didn't know him.
True.
You knew him after he went to WWE and WWF. Guess what, guys? That wasn't the Brian Christopher Lawler that all of us knew. That was not the Brian Christopher Lawler that was my best friend. That was not the Brian Christopher Lawler that I loved as my brother. Okay, so all this mouthing around saying, "Oh yeah, no, he hung out. We hung." That wasn't the Brian Christopher that I knew, that his dad knew, that Randy Hales knew, that all the old boys knew. Okay, just let's make that clear. Okay. Now, Randy, I want to do something real quick because my wife kind of gave me the idea because you were talking about merchandise and stuff like that.
Yes.
I want to let everybody know that I'll have some collector's items, and I'm just going to show you just one of them, but I'm going to have
Okay,
some other
great.
stuff. You know what I mean? But this is
Oh
the
my God.
Spellbinder Slam Buddy.
Look
Okay.
at that.
Complete with my face paint. You know, with the tights that I wore, the boots.
Right.
And from the back, it's got the wristbands and everything. And of course, you get there, you get this, and I'll sign it for you. And if you got a phone, you want to take a picture with me, not a problem. You can take me, you, and the Slam Buddy, whoever it is. But I just wanted to show you I'm going to have some other stuff out there. And just come on. I can't wait to see everybody September 21st. Come over to me, say hello to my wife, shake my hand. And if you didn't like me when I was a heel, buy it anyway and then tear it up.
Yeah, that just spend the money. That is fantastic. Hey, put us both on here before we go to that video of you and Brian. And our microphones will be open. By the way, you can comment when that is. You saw how it went last night. Our microphone will be there. And Thomas Lemon says, "Rest in peace, Brian. Love you." And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We all
Rest
feel
in
that way. A big announcement about next Tuesday's Talking Memphis Wrestling. We have the Spellbinder live this week. Next week, also going into the class of 2024. Next week on Talking Memphis Wrestling, Nightmare Danny Davis.
Awesome.
We'll
Awesome.
talk about his career, Nightmare Danny Davis. The week after Danny, we're planning to have Whoopi D of PG-13.
All right.
He's been on the show before, and he will be here on Talking Memphis Wrestling in a couple of weeks. Spellbinder today, Danny Davis next week, PG-13 the week after that. Now, let's go back, and I don't know for sure the date. I would think probably closer to the mid-90s. We can figure out. We'll watch this match. Corey Macklin doing the ring announcing for Spellbinder and Brian Christopher. Our mics will be open on Talking Memphis Wrestling with the Spellbinder.
We're ready for this sanctioned USWA heavyweight title bout. Special
You look like $1 million, Spell.
Thank you, brother.
First
Thank you, man.
introducing at a weight of 200.
You know, Randy,
pounds, wrestling from
a
Fantasy
couple of
Island,
months ago, I
the
did an appearance
challenger,
and they wanted me
the
an outfit.
Spellbinder.
And Dave Milliken was there, and a few other guys were there. And I had changed and put my face paint on. I walked out, and I got the greatest compliment I've ever had in my life. And I've gotten quite a few compliments, but this guy said, "Wow, Spell, you look like you just walked out of TV 20 years ago."
Yeah, that's fantastic, and you do. I think the people can see you right now. Of course, Brian wearing the USWA Championship.
Yes.
He's the champion, challenging there, as I am having Adam, who is the historian around that era of USWA. Adam, if you can write me a private chat, if you have a clue what year you think this is from.
That's 90, that's 95.
Do you think?
94. It's right before 95. The end of 94.
Okay.
Match.
So I was booking, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, you were booking. Yeah, you and King were booking it.
But you know what though, Lance? Last week, I wasn't expect. I was in a 6-man last week, and I wasn't expect to win that 6-man last week.
Who's that talking?
Congratulate you. That was a big win.
And what happened though? Spellbinder jumped me from behind, man.
Is that Reggie?
Now don't get me wrong. Now he was strong.
Yeah, I think he was my manager. I was a heel.
Okay.
You better keep your eyes on.
Yes,
Brian.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Reggie.
Well, Reggie's right there. This is a championship match. Spellbinder better pay attention.
1995. Adam
Yeah, that's-
confirmed.
Okay, yeah.
Right out of that corner and halfway
1995.
across the ring. And Spellbinder still joying with Reggie over here. I don't think he has a complete significance.
They had just got the new set, the new desk. The director was James Estes there. So just seeing that studio that's no longer capable of having a wrestling studio because they built a new news set there, does it give you chills to see this studio all these years later?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you know what? And I'm gonna tell you something that I remember when I came to TV that morning. Brian had not got there yet. We had just come back from the show Friday night somewhere. I don't know where we were. Might have been Osceola, Arkansas, or something like that. From another state. And we got in late. By the time you go to sleep and everything, I remember walking in and he goes, "Get ready." He tells me, and I went, "Man, what's going on?" I said, "We're ready." That's all.
And I don't want to make this, and I'm bringing it up,
Yeah.
but this is wrestling, and the wrestling fandom and a lot of the modern wrestlers are one high spot after another. This is a wrestling match. This is a test of strength. Every person is glued to the thing. I think they do so much, and that was a simple monkey flip, and you're selling it. People don't
Yeah.
sell anymore. Now
No,
you
that's what. Remember what I was telling you, Randy, that a lot of these guys want to try and reinvent the wheel. The wheel's been invented already. They're not going to do, first and foremost, you know, doing all those flips and all that stuff. Okay, it's people can be impressed, but once you keep doing it, and once you keep doing it, and once they seen it, it's over. You can't keep doing it. People are going to shrug their shoulders. But one of the things that you, Jerry Lawler, Brian Christopher, and anybody that had any sense, Dr. Tom Pritchard, Danny Davis, we told the story. And that's what Brian and I did. You know what I mean? And this is just one type of match that Brian and I had. We've had 50 different types of matches. We went wild and woolly many times. I mean, I wrestled Brian 1,000 times. You know what I mean, or more. But this was just, let's capture the crowd. Let's get the TV people going. You know what I mean? And the other thing was, this was TV, and you better had done something really good, or either you or King would be waiting for us by the gorilla, by the curtain, to let us have it. You know what I mean? If we did something stupid, or if we did something we shouldn't have been doing and stuff like that, or if it was just downright horrible. We had no time. That was live TV. You had no time to be horrible or bad even.
Reggie is distracting you. He distracts you. Brian schoolboys you 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
People get an ego. That didn't hurt you in one iota.
No, man. No. That's one of the things, Randy, that I took really serious. It was a work, the whole thing.
Adam wants to know if you're wearing in this match and you're attacking somebody there, as you're attacking Reggie there, he wants to know in that shot, the tights you're wearing, are those the same tights that Buddy that you showed a few minutes ago, or was Buddy wearing those same tights?
Yeah, same tights. I had about 15 different tights. Those were opened. Those were opened, and a lot of times I'd have the open holes. I'd have a color of. I would have a color of a different design, that matched my wristband. But those are the same tights. You know what I mean? Those were the Spellbinder trademark tights that I wore as Fantasia for WWE as well.
As we go to a break, and that was an excellent thing, a little cue that I want to give to Adam. In just a minute, I will upload a video. It's 2 minutes, 10 seconds into the video that we will play from the first Power Pro So that was excellent. And Dale, you just a couple of different things, just real quick, sum up
Thank
that
you.
match with Brian Christopher. Then talk about when I came to you once we started Power Pro on April of 1998, and I told you that you were going to be in the first match ever on Power Pro, and we'll get to the other thing a little later on. You were
Okay.
very first match of the premier edition of Power Pro. So those two things, refer back to the match we just saw and talk about me coming to you about Power Pro Wrestling.
Um, so Randy, I remember when you called me. I'll never forget that. I remember you calling me and said, "Hey, Spell," and I went, "Hey, Randy," and he goes, "You asked me what I was doing." I said, "Man, I actually got back from the gym. I'm about to eat," and you go, "All right, you want?" I'll never forget this conversation. He was like, "You want to eat and call me back?" And I said, "No, no, no, we're good." I said, "What's going on?" He goes, "All right, you got to kayfabe this, but I'm working on something. And can you meet me at Dave Brown's house?" Do you remember that?
Yes, sir. In that video that we did, Dundee was there. Brandon wasn't there. Derek was there.
No.
Just several people, but we went out on the boat, right?
Yes, exactly.
I talk about
Yes.
that to Adam all the time. We can't find that spot. They aired it. TV5 Wrestling is back, type of thing. You're exactly
Yeah.
right. And I can't find that damn spot.
Wow, really? I remember it started off like really slow, and I think Dave was like fishing or something. It was
And
like
with Corey
Dave
with him.
were with him, and then we came screaming and yelling and saying, "Come on over, come on in." You know what
We're
I
back
mean? And
on five. We're back
we're
on
back on
five.
five. Yeah, I remember. Hey, I remember I was in my tights with my face paint on, and my face was melting. That's how hot it was.
That was in April, and Dundee was there too, and Samantha,
Yes.
and we
Yeah.
had a
Oh no,
lot.
that was great. That was at Dave's house, right? We went
Yeah,
to
and his
Dave's house.
wife was driving the boat.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah,
then
that was awesome.
He and Corey was out. I wish we had this. He and Corey was out on the fishing boat, and so
Yes.
we drove up on the pontoon boat, and so you and Dundee and the different people, you
We
being the
we were
biggest,
telling them to come on over.
and you pulled them into the boat. Remember?
Right. Right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
And that's how the spot
that was
ended.
fun.
Uh,
Wow.
yeah,
So
that is.
that's nowhere to be found now?
That spot is nowhere to be found, but the very first match ever on Power Pro Wrestling. And Adam, just give me a cue when it's ready, 2 minutes, 10 seconds into this video. Just play that and we will pause. He's not letting me know in private chat, so I'm assuming that he's done it. Or if we're not actually close, as long as we don't cut off the match, we're good. This was a entertaining match. So my philosophy was, as Adam said, Dave Brown sent me months ago that he set up the format of the timing of a format because I didn't know about Excel and all that kind of stuff. And so I had hand wrote a format, a first draft of a format. And so Adam reminded me, Dave sent that. And it's not the show we went with, but the very first show that I laid out for show number one, the first match was going to be the Spellbinder against Tony Falk. It
I
did,
remember that.
yeah,
I remember you telling me. I remember you telling me.
and it didn't end up there. And so our mics will be open. We'll go back. I think Adam, it was either April 16th or April 18th, something along those lines. That TV5 Power Pro Wrestling premiered. We showed the opening segment. It was on April 18th, 1998. The opening segment with the balloon drop, if you remember, we had balloon
Yes.
drop and
Yeah.
all that.
Corey and Dave, yeah.
And we had that opening segment, but I wanted to get my first match right, and this is what it is, and this is what it was, and this is the Spellbinder, and Paul Diamond, a former tag team partner of Pat Tanaka and champions in the WWF, of veteran Spellbinder, was at his
Max Moon.
yeah
Max Moon.
yeah, Max Moon. It was just entertaining match, and this was a key to my thought process. Open with the balloon drop, then you have to give them action. The studio looked different. We had bleachers. It was a whole different feeling. Wrestling on Channel 5 had been off since the Larry Burton disaster in those days, the Sucker days, and this is Spellbinder and Paul Diamond. The first match ever of Power Pro Wrestling from October 97. USWA went away. We were back on April the 18th. Let's watch Spellbinder and Randy Hales with you on Talking Memphis Wrestling.
Final confrontation. Jerry the King Lawler, superstar Bill Dundee, all over the world. They've had this feud for years and years. Final confrontation today on Power Pro Wrestling.
What? 8 day. I'm ready for it. Let's kick it off.
Let's get it underway right now. Opening match of the day. Let's bring them out here. We've got the Spellbinder, Paul Diamond, our first match on Power Pro Wrestling. Here he comes right here from Thunder Bay, Ontario. It's Paul Diamond. Paul Diamond! Represent out of Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Watch the Spellbinder here.
We're ready for the very first match on TV5 Power Pro Wrestling. His opponent's going to be coming out here, too. He is set to go on the opening.
The balloons in the background.
Yeah, it looks great.
New set, new desk.
And the people were hot, Randy. I remember that.
Yeah, look at you now. Let's watch Spell. Let's concentrate. There he goes. Did you see the illusion? Did you see it, Dale?
Absolutely. I remember this. I remember this like it happened the other day. And I wanted to, it was the Power Pro and USWA. I wanted to give Power Pro a different look. Instead of the white face, I just wanted to change it up a little bit.
Right. The set's different, and the bleachers are different. There's balloons.
Oh, and it looks bigger, Randy.
Yes, absolutely. Do you think that Paul Diamond, as Adams says, that ring banner of Power Pro you see right now, it will be in Jackson on September the 21st. Not only can you see all the stars, did you think that the best decision was do you think my decision to go with you and Paul Diamond as the opening match was the right decision?
Fantastic. Absolutely. Absolutely. We both look athletic. We both look like pro wrestlers. We look, we look like we're ready, and it was pretty intense, and Paul was a heck of a worker. Paul was fantastic to work with. And I worked Tony 100 times too. But this was, the people got behind this because we were doing some Paul and I did some stuff that I don't think Tony and I could have done.
When's the last time you watched this match, Phil?
Get some of his thoughts about this company, about the direction he wants to take it. Look at this.
It's been a few years, Randy, but I remember it clearly. I remember it. See, I caught him. I remember it super clear. I remember it because it was the first show, Randy. It was the first, and I was proud that I was the very first match on the very first show.
And this is a back and forth match.
Yes.
This had your traditional style of Memphis wrestling, but a more modern style as well. This is not a one star against a job guy. This is two top guys, and it's a back and forth match.
Exactly.
And we wanted, I think I told you, we wanted excitement. Referee from Louisville, Kentucky, Joe Wheeler, will be in Jackson on September the 21st.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I haven't seen Joe in 15 years either. 15, 16 years. Be great. Joe was a real good guy.
This is a very entertaining first match, and it's nonstop. That's a good move by Paul.
Absolutely.
The Bulldog Both
Yes.
guys did that perfect. We go for a penalty, a count of 1, count of 2, and a kick out at 2.
Spellbinder able to kick out of it. That's the count of 2.
You have to tell a story during a match. This is a story the bad guy is putting the good guy, the babyface, in jeopardy. Now he's having trouble with and he couldn't get that move, but Spellbinder at the last second, he tried a couple of counters, did not work. Then you caught him with the clothesline. You're both down, and you're both
Yes.
selling.
Right. That's what I was again, Randy. This is what we were talking about. You know, these other, people. All they had to do is take the lead. If I was going to do a wrestling show, I would watch all your old stuff.
Watch this, Dale, as you're thrown outside the ring. Again, non-stop stuff. April the 14th, 1998. Power Pro Show number 1. Watch this.
Oh, look out, Diamond out of the ring. Oh, look at this. Diamond!
Whoa!
Yeah.
Dangerous territory down there near the crowd and also the steps of the ring.
I remember that's good stuff, man. Before for the first match, we're giving them a lot.
Oh,
We're giving
yeah.
them a lot of stuff.
And that's what
And
I wanted.
That
That
set the
was-
tone, exactly.
That was the direction. I say, main event match to open up the show. Now we go for the Sunset Flip, 1, 2.
Got a 2 count. That's all he got.
I stop him.
Very close again. Each wrestler very close.
The small
Oh,
pack,
that's right. He goes for the slam. Yeah.
and we get the 1, 2, 3. Now,
Yes.
the one mistake that I regret, and I know why I did it, because I knew the match would be good, and I wanted to come back the next week with a return match, but I wanted the babyface over. And so we do a thing here I regret doing. I really do. I could have come up with something just out of an interview, because you're just hanging around a little bit. This is my bad, not your bad or not Paul's bad. As now, the thought process was to get heat, and the people are getting with it, but I regret doing that. I don't think it was needed, Dale.
For the heat, you mean?
Yeah, I don't think we needed it.
Well, we can go two ways with that, Randy. And I'm just talking business. All right, I got the win. He's mad about it. We get some heat, but guess what? We come back next Saturday. Remember?
Yes, and we have both referees out there checking on you. All in all, this was just a tremendous match. As we're now doing this up in the game as far as production with James Estes.
Yes.
As the production showing this replay back in the old days, this is just good stuff from a TV perspective.
Absolutely. From the business perspective, I mean that's what you want to give the people, something exciting, something to enjoy, something believable. And again, Randy, the thinking was you want to give them something good, especially in the beginning. I would have said that's a really difficult thing to do, to open the show to a very first show. Then you got to hit them with something, something good, something unique, something that they're gonna go, whoa, that was pretty good, that was good. Not, oh God, what is this nonsense? You know what I mean? Which is, unfortunately, what you can get a lot of times.
Now, let me explain something right now. So this was in 1998, 2001. We had a hell of a long run. We had good eras and bad eras and a lot of great eras. Remember, next week on Talking Memphis Wrestling, Danny Davis will be here. We're going to jump ahead to the year 2001. You just showed number 1. We are going to show a piece of the show 154 to tell everybody after show 153, after show number 153, I was asked to go upstairs to a conference room, and the director of operations, Creighton Armour, told me that as I've been bugging them today, I say we need to sign a contract to renew the contract. They were not going to renew Power Pro Wrestling. So I came up out on on channel. I came out on show 154 and announced we were closing, and I said, but things going on wrong, and I was doing that in a way. The TV station, they were up there thinking I would say something out of school, and I said, I don't want to talk about no good, low down, scum of the earth people, and they were thinking I was fixing to talk about them, but then I tied it into wrestling. I was business. I tied it into knocking you and knocking Brandon. Y'all came out and you kind of pushed me around, so we made a match, you and Lawler, at the end of the show. And Adam, just let me know when you can. And also, I thought I heard something, and we are going to play this match. And co-host of the show, Pat Trammell, will join us after this match. As the Spellbinder has been fantastic here. But I chose the Spellbinder to open up the Power Pro run. I also chose the Spellbinder to close the Power Pro run. You saw Paul Simon lose to the Spellbinder on April 14th, 1998. And we are good now to watch the last show, the last match, Spell and Jerry Lawler.
As with so many other things that are big in Memphis, Tennessee over the last, 50 years? We're seeing it
Dale, I know you're wearing, I noticed you're wearing short trunks or short tights.
Yeah, you know, I had come back as a heel, and I wanted just to have a different look as a heel. If you notice, whenever I was a heel, I was bulked up more. I weighed a lot more. I was more like 290. And when I was a babyface, I was more like 270, 268 because I wanted to look athletic. You know, when I was a baby, when I was a babyface, I wanted to remind the people of a superhero. You know what I mean? I wanted them to go, oh, you know, he was cool, you know, with his tights and stuff. Of course, when I was a heel, I wanted them to hate me, so it didn't matter. So I put on all the weight I can. I eat a lot more calories and trained heavier and stuff because I wanted to look the part as a big evil heel. And you know, King did a heck of a job. You know, he you know, when it came down to King, he structured the match. You listen to him, and he does. You know, you do whatever it is he tells you to do. And,
now I wanted to ask you because I think at this point in the show, Mr. Shock, Mr. Spellbinder, I think at this point in the show, stuff had gone long because we did a Brandon and you and me, Big Smiles, in the interview segment. Then we did Brandon and Stacy, the Cat Carter, in a match. And then we didn't have as much time as I scheduled. Was it hard? Say I had it scheduled for 12. Then right before you go to the ring, just, hey, we just have 5 or 6 minutes. How hard?
Yeah, I remember you telling me we got about 5 or 6 minutes. I remember that. You know what I mean?
Is that hard?
But Randy, that wasn't unheard of on live TV.
Oh, no.
I remember one time I was working. I was about to go work Axel Rotten. Again, him, rest in peace. We were working Axel Rotten. At first we had 7 minutes, and then you ran to me and says, "All right, Spell, I'm sorry, we got 3 minutes." You know what I mean? I just looked at Axel and go, "All right, just jump on me, get your heat, and let me just slip over and get out of there." And so that wasn't unheard of. You know, you and everybody else that did live TV knows that was really to be ready for any of that.
Oh yeah, that's the beauty of live TV. Pat Trammell's in the house, and we'll bring him on after this match. This is the last match in the closing seconds you will see, and the close of the series of Power Pro Wrestling. At the time, Dale, we'll probably have you spell that story about a incident where you had to snatch me, absolutely physically snatch me after this, and we will do that. We'll let Pat say hello to you and all that sort of thing. But
okay.
Before we go off the air, we'll let you just how upset I was. I freaking got a long story, but I'll tell a little bit. By the way, night to remember, Jackson, Tennessee, the 21st. Tickets on sale now. The QR code is up there now. And now here, Spell, you're getting your heat on Law.
Right. Getting the heat on there. You know, Randy, thinking back now, Randy, that was a real weird time. You know, that was that whole time that whole time was a little weird. King Stacy had gotten fired uh, from New York, and Stacy got fired, so King got mad and quit. And you know,
We
it was
lost
just a
our
whole.
we lost our WWE deal.
Yeah, you lost the WWE deal, and man, the whole thing was just, man, it was you know, if you remember, Randy, that day was like a that morning was a real dreary morning. It was dark. There was no sun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, it was just a really, really bad feeling day. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, you know, uh, I can't believe this is ending. I can't believe what's going on with King. You know, Stacy got fired. You know, it was just a down time.
Hey,
Brian
what are
had,
you doing here, you daggum bully? You body slammed the referee. The referee is out of position. The referee is done. Lawler goes to the small package. We're close on time. Lawler got you. I roll in. I roll in. 1, 2, 3. And now
yeah, and
the
I tried to grab you, Randy.
you tried to grab me, Lawler's there. You got my hair. You know, I thought we were friends. I'm mad now.
Yeah,
You raised the
I
hand.
remember that.
I
I
raised the
remember that. I said,
hand.
I'm going to grab him by the head. You know what I mean? You know, hey,
So
it
the
was a heck of a
final
match and a heck of a finish. It was a
The
heck of a
final
finish.
scene of the show is Lawler and me shaking his hand, and there is the final scene of the show. And I want to bring into the show, as we're close to the end of the show, he's doing auditing and all kinds of stuff. Welcome to the show, co-host Pat Trammell.
Well, hello to everybody, and Spell,
Hey, man.
congratulations on your long overdue induction to the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. We're looking
Thank
forward to being with you in September,
I
and
can't
looking
wait to
forward
see
to us
you.
getting to meet in person.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I can't wait till September 21st. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to see Randy, and I can't wait to see the rest of the guys that I used to see every single day for years.
And Adam Dunn will be in the house as well.
Adam's a good guy. I like Adam. He's a good guy. My wife thinks he's a great guy. Yeah, you know, he's just a real good guy all around.
Before we get in, Pat, before we get into the one story, we're going to talk about me going absolutely bonkers about 30 minutes after this show is over, and Spell will tell that story. But since you have not been here, and you, of course, we've showed Spellbinder stuff and we've talked about the Spellbinder. Do you have anything about the event or Spellbinder's career? Do you have anything for Spellbinder?
Well, I mean, if something has to end, it ends best with Lawler in the ring, and I know it was an honor for you, Spell, to be a part of that. And I'll tell you, you were somebody that I have gone back and watched so much of your stuff because what great stuff it was.
I
And I know
appreciate
it
that.
was special to be a part of it, and it was certainly special for all us fans to be able to see you work.
Yeah, it's special. And then looking back, it's like I told Randy, you know, when he asked me what I felt when I saw the graphic of Spellbinder being inducted into the Hall of Fame, you know, I was one of the last, and I think Randy, you would agree with that. I was one of the last to come in the golden era of wrestling, you know,
Yeah.
in USWA. I was definitely the last that would stay in that territory, you know. You know, I was supposed to just be passing by. You know, they put me on the contract. WWF put me on the contract and said, "Hey, we're going to leave you in Memphis, Tennessee, a few months." And a few months turned into a few years, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I had a better time. I had a better time in the territory. And of course I went back and forth. They send up for me. I'd either do TV taping or I'd do 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks on the road wrestling. But I'd always felt like I was back home when I came back to Memphis. Or I would fly into Louisville or fly into Evansville, Indiana, or I always felt whenever I came back and I saw guys like Brian and Jamie and Wolfie, and you, of course, Randy, I felt like I was back home. Don't get me wrong, the money up in WWF, WWE, I wasn't going to argue with at all.
Right.
But the TV tapings, where we had a lot of fun on Saturday morning, the TV tapings up in New York were just too stressful. Looking back, I'd be like, oh, God. It was very, very stressful. You had to be there from noon. You had to be there by noon, no matter what. You had to be there by noon, and then the tapings didn't start till 6:30. Well, no, not the taping, the dark matches. So it was, you'd be there all day, and by the time you got dressed to get ready to go out and do whatever you're going to do, you were exhausted. You were tired already, and those are the things I remember. The house shows were different. House shows were more like Memphis house shows because the guys were calm. They were just, going to do their match and move on, but the TV tapings that's where most of the time where everybody either got let go or got released or whatever. So the TVs were very, very stressful. I don't know how they are now. I've heard that they're a little bit more calm. Back in the day, they were not.
Anything else, Pat, for Spell before we tell the story?
Well, I mean, Spell, you know this, and I think Bill Dundee told me this one time. Wrestling in Memphis was like playing in Lambeau Field. It was like playing basketball in Boston Garden. It was like playing baseball in Yankee Stadium in the legendary days. And those that walk in that squared circle, and I think it's more than appropriate that you were in one of the last matches there. It makes you a legend forever.
I appreciate that. And hey, I saw him come and go. Randy will tell you. So for me to be able to hang around and be in the Memphis territory that many years, says a little something about me, about my character. You know what I mean? If Randy Hales and Jerry Lawler could stomach me all those years, I wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Let me throw this information in that Adam just said.
Okay.
Memphis Wrestling premiered on Channel 5 in Memphis in March of 1977. The very last match of wrestling in that TV5 studio was main evented by Jerry Lawler and the Spellbinder. Of course, Jerry Lawler needed to be in that main event. Spellbinder chosen by me to be in that main event. And the last match, not only of the Power Pro run, of the run, the last wrestling match ever at Channel 5 Studios in Memphis, you have to look at it like that, Spell, was you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think about it and it's surreal. And I was in that ring with the King.
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. And then we'll go into the final story, and then we'll let Spell go and do all the honeydew jobs that Marcia has him do tonight. But that day was a stressful day, and I'll tell you the thing when I knew it was over. And I had did the format and did it. I told Brandon, we're not going to TV. I said, I just can't, it'd be too much for me. And he said, you're making a mistake. And then I faxed, back then when there was fax machines, I faxed Lawler the TV and asked him to run the TV. I had a TV laid out, and certainly I wasn't going to be involved in the finish of your match, but by making the count, because I wasn't going to be there. But Brandon said, that's unfair to the boys that stuck with us, and he was right. He said with Dell and with Lance Jade and with Alan Steele and with Derek King and with all the people, with Dave and Corey, said we got to go. And he was right. But I wasn't in a good frame of mind at all. So we did the
No.
show, and I was professional, and I kind of got a little mad at Kevin Lawler, and because he saw me in the hallway, and he like smirked at me, and you know how he is. It's just his personality. But I dropped my briefcase, and I was going to pluck his eye out of his socket, and you know how he is when you make him mad. He just looks like he's puzzled. He can't. What did I do? Yeah,
Right.
he can't imagine it that somebody get mad at him, but I was mad, so I got mad there. But then after the show, and then Corey Macklin had tried to shake my hand, and this is another thing I'm not proud of. You're a preacher, and Deacon Jones is in the house, and he's a preacher. But because of a situation, a phone call the night before, I wouldn't shake Corey's hand. So that's the two incidents before. Then we get out of there, and I told Brandon, I said, I want to take the desk back to Jonesboro, and I had brought a pickup truck to put it in, and we were putting it in. So there was the big overhead door was up there, was up, and I could see in the studio, and there was people, and it was Dave Brown, Corey Macklin, Trayton Armour, and Jerry Lawler, and they were in there, and Corey was kind of leading the thing, and they were saying, yeah, we don't like the way the Power Pro looked, and they were talking about Corey thought he had able to land the show. He asked me, he called me the night before. He said, "Hey, I'm talking Channel 5 about getting the show. Will you book it for me?" I said, "Hell no." I said, "They take it away from me, and you think I want to come back just as a booker? Hell no." Then he tried to shake my hand, and I refused. Then I get out, I see them, and I freaked out. There was a big board, and remember part of the story. Remember the police car showing up, but I grabbed the board, and I was going to go in there. Thank God
Yeah,
for somebody.
we were in the back. They were taking down the ring. I remember that.
And
They were taking
then
down the ring. And
it's
I was
the only
talking to
time in my life I was in the mental state where I was about to kill somebody, and I had the thing. And you take the story up from there.
You were angry. I remember it was dreary. It was kind of rainy, and it started to drizzle a little harder. And I remember you grabbed the board and I was talking to you, and I could tell you were distracted. You thinking of something. You kept going, yeah, yeah. You kept going, yeah, to me, and I kept looking at you, and I'm saying, Randy, don't worry about it. This, no matter what happens, we're gonna we're gonna get through this, stuff like that. Next thing I know, you got like a big board in your hand, and you go charging into the back, and I snatched you up. I remember having to grab you and turn you around and faced you to the police cruiser that was standing right there.
Yeah, the
And I said,
cops came
Randy, the
up.
cop right there. Yeah, the cop was just pulled up. He had just pulled up in that driveway when you at the same time when you were doing that, he was pulling in. And I don't know if he was paying attention. I didn't even look at the car. I didn't want him to think we were looking at him or anything. But I turned you towards him, and you put the board down. Thank God, because you were going straight to 201 Poplar, Randy. Had you even threatened somebody with.
So you
Yeah,
saved me from being in prison still today because I had
Yeah.
bad attention at all. Bad attention. How did you like that story, Pat?
All I can think of is thank you, Spell, because that gave Randy the opportunity. If somebody was going to end Memphis Wrestling in TV5, uh, and it's in your book, Randy, you ended it with honor. And Spell, you had a lot to do with that. And
I appreciate that.
it ended like it should have ended. It ended with Memphis Wrestling being real, but you ended it with honor, Randy. And Spell, you were
Yeah.
part of that. And thank you from
Thank
from all of us. And I'm speaking for 50 years of fans.
And Randy, remember this: you left him. It would have been hard to follow USWA, and you followed it with Power Pro Wrestling. And guess what? This is my feeling, and this is my opinion, and a lot of people agree with me. And there hasn't been a show to be able to follow it in Memphis after that. Quite honestly, this is how I feel. And Randy, I've had people call me and want me to do this and that. And my ruling to me is Memphis Wrestling was Randy Hales and Jerry Lawler. And if it doesn't have to do anything to do with them, then it's not Memphis Wrestling. And that's point blank. That is the truth. I don't care what anybody says. And if it, so you ended Memphis Wrestling with Power Pro. And that's how Memphis Wrestling ended. That was it. I don't care what shows are on now. It's not Memphis Wrestling. They can call it whatever they want.
Hey, Spell,
but yeah.
But remember this, and we'll get you out of here, and then Pat and I will chat. But remember that, and that was eloquent, and that was great, and that was from the heart, and that was truthful. But we ain't done yet. There is one last hurrah. It will be, folks, on Saturday night. It's September the 21st. I'll do my Lance Russell. I'll do my Dave Brown. Bill, I don't know if you know it or not, but the microphone that Randy West sent me, he found in a drawer, is the microphone that Lance Russell used to do the ring announcing and the commentary at the Mid-South Coliseum from the 70s on. That same microphone I have on my hand. This microphone will be in attendance on Saturday, September the 21st in Jackson, Tennessee. The Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Tickets on sale now. You can see the QR code on that poster now. You can scan that. Also in the comment section, the very latest comment I've put up now, you can click on that. Tickets are going quick. Tickets at the VIP level front row platinum is available. There's 75 plus taxes, and I think Pat was going to buy up some. Don't know if he did, but it will start, the meet and greet will start at 3:30. Then at 7 o'clock, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony and the tribute to Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee, the rivalry of the lifetime. It will be at 2310 North Highland in Jackson, Tennessee. The ceremony starts at 7. This is sponsored by Pro Shingle, New Roofs and Reports and Repairs, Budweiser, the King of Beer, Thomas Media, WBBJ TV Channel 7, the ABC affiliate, the Slide and Ride Rodeo with a after party, Fortune Financial. Thanks for sponsoring. Bourbon and Barley, News Talk 96.5 FM, and of course the law offices of Marcus A. Lippum. The Spellbinder will join the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Man, he's worthy. He's fired up. I saw your wife check into the picture. Would she like to make an appearance on the show?
Yes, we're going to say goodnight, my gorgeous wife. That's Mr. Spellbinder.
So excited, guys. So excited to be a part of this again. There's going to be a lot of magic in the air that night. We can't wait.
Hey, Marcia, I will be devastated as all of a sudden we've been talking almost 2 hours, and this is the best part of the show. Adam Dunn says, and Pat says, and I say, this is exciting. How in the world did he hook you? I know he's a smooth talker. Man.
Hey, I'm a magician.
Right.
Well, I'm looking forward. I unfortunately met you for the very first time. You know when it was, right? It was not in good situation. It was at the hospital at the Med in Memphis, Tennessee, the night Brian Christopher was rushed to the hospital. This will be Happy Days. I'm going to sing you a song right now. I did it on Monday night. I'm going to sing you a song. This is a Barbra Streisand song. I think I can do it better than Barbra.
Memories?
This is a song. No, not that's the memory. Happy days are here again. The sky above is clear again. Happy days, happy time. Happy
Look, you got
Look who we have now. Introduce who's with us on screen now.
That's Lexi, our white pit bull. You started singing, and she had to find out who it was.
All right. Want me to sing one more song or not?
I think Lexi will jump back up here.
Okay.
There she is.
How about this one, Lexi? I gotta get drunk, and I sure do dread it, because I know just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spend my money taking Spellbinder's money and wind up singing the blues. I spend my whole paycheck on some old wreck, and brother, I can name a few. Gotta get drunk, and I sure do dread it, because I know just what the Spellbinder, Marcia, and Lexi will do. I love you, Marcia and Dale. We'll see you the
Love
21st
you.
week. When it gets closer to the event, will you come back on with us? Maybe the go home show?
Absolutely, absolutely, Randy. We'll be in touch, and I'll talk to you here the next day or two, and we'll plan for some more stuff.
Absolutely. Bring the dog.
For sure. Lexi's always here. Don't
All
worry.
right.
Brian, it's good talking to you, and I'll see you soon, brother.
All right, Dale. Thank you very much. Thank
See
you
you,
to
Dale.
Marcia for helping get you. You're not too good technically, and she got you fixed up and got us hooked up. Thank
No,
you, Marcia.
she's my right hand.
All right. Very good. Thank
See
you.
ya.
Good night.
See you guys.
All right. Pat Trammell, you came in late, but you came in at a good time. What did you think? What we just heard, the 15 minutes you've been on the show?
Well, it's just going to be great to be with Spellbinder and the King and Bill and all of our friends, the rock and roll and Tom Pritchard, and I'm looking just so forward to meeting them and all our friends that are on the show with us each and every week, and it's going to be a very much a night to remember.
Excited. The one question I have you before I want to show you I had, and I think I had sent it to our group chat with Chris and Pat, but we're going to do it again with another hard sell. And remember that QR code is there, folks. These tickets will go, especially the premium ticket, will go quick. You have some people that's coming with you. Obviously, you're part of the ceremony to induct Michael along with Chris. You were going to look in the process for your crew to get some tickets. Did you have a chance as we induct Michael St. John in the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame? Did you have a chance to go to that website and look at the
I,
ticket process?
I have, and they're looking good. It's easy to access the website. Tickets are going fast. Encourage everybody to get some tickets and let's have a good time.
All right. Did you have any trouble?
Not at all. Not at all.
Got it. And if you get your tickets this way, it will be in will call at the building. You will not get them mailed to you. It will also, folks, the easy way is go to MemphisWrestlingHallOfFame.com and you can get that link there. There's many, many, many ways to do it. Another thing I wanted to do with you here, and I think we want to sum it up. My friend Brandon Baxter, who is the operations manager and the host of the top morning drive show at KFIN Radio in Jonesboro, Arkansas, Brandon Baxter on KFIN KFIN. He did a radio spot that will play in the Jackson markets and other markets, and a fantastic job. Adam's going to put the poster up and make it full screen, and for temporarily, Pat Trammell and I will go off screen as we will get the poster full screen, and we'll go back and forth to different things, and we will play the audio. This is Brandon Baxter's spot to pipe up people for a night to remember, the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame coming to Jackson, Tennessee.
The Legends of Memphis Wrestling return to Jackson, Saturday, September 21st at the Picture Perfect Event Center. It will be a night to remember, featuring the stars you watched every Saturday morning on TV. Be there for the Fan Fest meet and greet at 3:30 and the official Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame induction ceremony at 7 p.m. featuring Jerry the King Lawler, Superstar Bill Dundee, the Boogie Woogie Man, Handsome Jimmy Valiant, Dangerous Doug Gilbert, Wildfire Tommy Rich, the Rock and Roll Express, PG-13, Downtown Bruno, the Birdman Coco Beware, Dr. Tom Pritchard, the Dirty White Boy Tony Anthony, Nightmare Danny Davis, Terry Golden, Sir Mo, The Spellbinder, Tony Falk, Carl Fergie, Jerry Calhoun, Michael St. John, and more. Plus a special reunion of the stars from TV5 Power Pro Wrestling and KAW. The Legends of Memphis Wrestling return to Jackson, Saturday, September 21st at the Picture Perfect Event Center. Sponsored by Budweiser, Pro Shingle, Thomas Media, Slide and Ride Rodeo, and WBBJ TV. Tickets are on sale now. Go to Eventbrite and search Official Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame.
That's how a professional does it, Pat Trammell. That's Brandon Baxter, that spot. What did you think?
I thought that was outstanding. I've never heard Brandon do one of those, but man, that's great. That's great.
That's how
Fires
he
me
makes his
up.
living.
Fires me up. Fires me up.
All right, that's for sure. What you been doing today? Michael didn't get back in time to do the show. He had a disaster, and we didn't have him on there at all, on the show at all. Michael St. John will be inducted with so many people in the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Check my Facebook, my Twitter, the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Everything related to us, Randy Hills, MemphisWrestling.com, my Facebook, my Twitter X, the YouTube channel at youtube.com/@RandyHills. And a lot of people watch on YouTube like Thomas and others. This has been fantastic. This will be a fantastic show. Pat, I know you came in last minute and you didn't do a first take. Do you want to do a first take and a last take before we get out of here? I got to get up at 3 o'clock to take my niece to the Memphis airport in the morning, so I'm going to stay up late. First take and last take.
Well, my first and last take is we have a night to remember on the 21st of September, and I'll tell you what will make it special. It will be special to have all our wrestling stars there. It will be special to have Michael St. John there, the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame ceremony, the meet and greet will all be special. But the thing that will make it most special is that all our friends and fans like me, and I'm one of them more than, the talent, if all of our fans come out, and I just look forward to being with them and being with my people, as you would say. So I'm looking so forward to this, and I encourage everybody to get your tickets, come on in, and let's all have as it says, a night to remember.
Fantastic. And so I'll put the microphone down and say this, because Jackson, Tennessee, September 21st, today we are rounding third. We are headed home. Pat?
He's out.
Hey, we're safe, and we'll be safe in Jackson, Tennessee on September 21st. We'll be back Monday night for the Power Hour next Tuesday right here on Talking Memphis Wrestling. Pat, you didn't hear this blockbuster of announcement. Next Tuesday on the show, get your questions ready. Get your prep in. Nightmare Danny Davis, one of the great trainers in the history of professional wrestling. Danny Davis here. He'll be going into the Hall of Fame. He will be here next Tuesday night. The Tuesday after that, Wolfie D of PG-13, who is going to be inducted, going to be here. Wolfie D will be on the show week after next. We're loaded. We're on the home stretch leading into September 21st for Del Rios, the Spellbinder, Marsha the Dog, and Pat Trammell. For everybody, Team Hills, for producer Adam Dunn, this is Randy Hills saying bye-bye, everybody.
Talking Memphis Wrestling with Randy Hill and special guests.